Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset Episode 39. This podcast is about anything and everything related to Destiny the game. If you enjoy playing Destiny as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, Iron Banner returned. We break down all of the rewarding details coming in the April updates, and a huge thank you to the Derp fam for our awesome present. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. This is Arrow Knight, and here with me is Cyborg Sasquatch and Joe Meaden. How's it going, guys?
Hello. How are you this wonderful evening?
I am excellent. Excellent, Joe. You're doing great?
Doing great, man. It's Iron Banner week. This is my favorite activity in all of Destiny, so I am stoked. It has been a great week.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you're stoked it's back to Control. I can tell in your voice.
That's the real thing. Iron Banner Control, more accurately, is my favorite activity in Destiny.
Maybe I remember you saying that in Discord.
I was really excited when I heard it was Control.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Destiny Reset, Joe.
It's good to be back. Thanks for having me.
It's always good to have you on. Well, we've got some wonderful announcements this week, guys. You ready?
Yes.
Let's kick this thing off. All right, for my geography lesson of the week, we have our friend Bradley, and he hails from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the United States of America. And Bradley sent us an email, and he writes, "Here is your USA-themed geography lesson of the week. Pittsburgh, PA, the city of champions, the Steel City, the city of bridges. All names that we beloved Pittsburghers know our city as. Pittsburgh is the home of the Steelers, the NFL team with the most championships won. The Steelers were named after the distribution company, the Pittsburgh Steeling Company, established in 1927. Pittsburgh is also the home of the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are 9-time pennant winners and 5-time World Series champions. They were in the first World Series in 1903 and claimed 2 pre-World Series titles in 1901 and 1902. Pittsburgh is also home to the Pittsburgh Penguins. The team has won 4 Eastern Conference titles and 3 Stanley Cup championships and 30 playoff seasons. Pittsburgh was named in 1758 by General John Forbes in honor of British statesman William Pitt. Pittsburgh sits where the Allegheny River from the northeast and a Monongahela River from the southeast form the Ohio River. I do not know if I pronounced those correctly.
Close enough.
I know the one is Allegheny. But
Allegheny. Okay.
Yeah.
These I'm thinking that these are American Indian words here, so they can be tough. Moving on. Many Pittsburgh neighborhoods are steeply sloped with 2-lane roads. More than a quarter of neighborhood names make reference to hills, heights, or other similar features. The actual convergence is in Point State Park and referred to as The Point. Pittsburgh is the home of many independent breweries and has a great nightlife. The city is packed with college students from the University of Pittsburgh throughout the year. Many bars and clubs are scattered through all of Pittsburgh. This city is a very amazing and beautiful place with tons of history all around. This email could go on forever, but I'll cut it off there. I'm proud of my home city and know that there are some people in the Derp fam that live here too, including Unnamed Being and Raucus, just to name a couple. Thanks for all you do, guys. Keep up the good work. P.S. I am a human hunter for life."
Nice. Hunters all around. Yeah, we're getting some Hunter love on the past couple episodes.
Finally got some return to the USA, the good old US of A.
Yes, yep. He filled that one full of info. Didn't he?
And Bradley, I apologize. I had to cut a couple of sentences out about the Pittsburgh Steelers, not because I'm not a fan, but we had to shorten it just a little bit for time. I'm sure you'll understand. But
I didn't realize
I'm kind of happy about that. I'm from Cleveland, so probably
nice.
You can say it was my fault.
Joe didn't make us do it.
Joe made some edits. Way to represent that Hunter life, though.
The Pirates had won 5 World Series championships. That's nice. Man. Very nice.
All right, moving on. What else we got?
We have something very exciting to talk about, Cyborg. It's kind of nice to have one of the lovely admin team here with us. We got some unbelievably super awesome, fantastic controllers this week, dude.
We did,
man. And
the
first
fam.
Dude, Dirt Fam, thank you to everyone involved. These things, we opened them together last night over the phone at the same time because that's what the admin team requested us to do. And they are absolutely amazing.
Yep. We have
cool.
These custom controllers with a custom paint job on them. And who was was it Condemned?
Condemned Custom, yes.
Condemned Custom put these together on behalf of the derp, or what do you call yourselves? The Derp Illuminati, apparently.
Yeah, basically,
secret is out, guys.
Yeah, a few months ago, we kind of put together an extra GroupMe chat and started plotting for ways that we could encourage you guys and thank you for all the hard work you put into this podcast and the community that's been built around it. So several of us. I'm not sure how many there are. I'm looking at the list right now. I think we had about almost 20 of us chipped in and wanted to make sure that you guys know that you're appreciated and that we love the Derp Fam. I know there are many others who would have been a part of it. This was a while ago that we put this together. But I know we speak for many when we say thank you guys for all the work you've done, for the community that you've put together. We're so glad to be a part of it.
Well, man.
Thanks, Joe. And thanks
we
to all the
appreciate
Derp Fam.
Yeah,
and
thank
guys,
you so much.
These are pretty sweet. We put up a tweet on Twitter, of course, some pictures of these. They're pretty tight. They've got a hashtag Derp Fam on it. It's got the old Destiny Reset logo, and it's got our gamer tags on the back.
Yeah, I know. I've got mine in my hand right now. You probably do too. When we were looking at them, I flipped it over and was like, I almost was in shock for a second when I realized my gamer tag was on the back. Like, that's just such a nice little touch, man. But thank you guys so much, like Cyborg said, and didn't have to do it, obviously, but it means a lot to us, and we got to throw it right back at you guys as usual and just say thanks for keeping the Derp Fam amazing, because you guys are what keep it awesome every day. So every time somebody new jumps in Discord and you guys jump all over it and welcome them and ask them if they need help with anything, it's good stuff. It's excellent.
Definitely so. I think me and Era agreed that these are gonna have to go up on the display.
Yes. Yeah, we pretty much said that last night.
Kind of feel bad about trying to use it.
I don't want to wear off the hashtag, dude. Like, I've got a whole shelf full of Destiny stuff now, so this is gonna look beautiful sitting on there. And maybe every now and then, maybe on a Trials passage or two.
Yeah. But anyways, just wanted to say thank you. It just blew us away. We were blown away.
Yes. Definitely.
But all right, guys. Well, let me be the first to ask you, how was your reset?
Joe, go for it, man.
It was excellent as usual, and this week is Iron Banner, so I am in the thick of it. I was trying to remember, even as we started to talk about this, even off of the podcast, what did I even do this week? Because I've been so in the thick of Iron Banner. But it was great. I did a Trials Passage with Tattoo and one of his friends, and we went to the Lighthouse. First time I've been to the Lighthouse in almost a year.
You guys squeezed that in today? Or no, that was last weekend. That was
Monday. It was at the very end of last week.
Right before this reset.
Yeah, so it's not even for this reset, but I'm planning on jumping in because I'm super stoked, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later, but the rotating maps, I love variety, and one of the things about Trials that's hard for me is to get used to playing on just one map. So I've played, the other time that they did rotating maps, I played all weekend, and I'm not normally a Trials player. So I'm very excited about it this weekend.
Yeah, I said Thieves Den, I think, last episode, and then I said, wait, I want rotating maps, because it was a blast when it came up the last time. I guess we should clarify, Joe talking about that. We're recording early again, guys. It's several days early.
It's Friday night.
We're going to be talking about last weekend's Trials, which was Frontier, and the rotating maps that we haven't played yet. So,
Yep.
So, Frontier. Did you play Passage, Cyborg?
No, I didn't get to play last weekend. I didn't get to play any trials.
Very nice.
I think I'm trying to remember what was going on, but we just couldn't get it together. But
yeah, well, we normally play on Friday night, and I don't think any of us.
Yeah, we recorded last Friday.
Yeah.
So that held us back then.
Yeah,
but what about you?
Yeah, we did. It was the normal crew, and we ran 2 passages, lost pretty quickly on the first, and then went 9-0 on the second one. Lost our mercy on the 8th win. No. I think, we did on the 8th win, and then we finished it off, luckily. So it was a lot more fun than the last time I played that map. We stuck to way more of a rushing game. Like, we didn't really do the snipe lanes. We just rushed the bridge, went underneath or, down one side of it, and basically just cut them off in their spawn while they were trying to snipe. So
that's what I did last time I played it, and I had a lot of success with that strategy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you can get across that map, way quicker than I thought you could.
If you're going straight across that bridge, just going straight to their spawn, like, by the time they're set up, you're there.
Right. The old Titan skating helps as well.
That probably can't hurt. Can I get a skate nerf in the sandbox update, please?
There you go.
How about just some Warlock skates?
Yeah, right along with your Warlock nerf.
Some rollerblades or something. Oh, man.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I actually played a passage with Terry as well. I think earlier in the weekend.
We started a passage, Joe. Remember, I played 1 or 2 games, and then Dixon swapped in for me. Dixon swapped in, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
How'd you guys end up doing on that one? Do you remember?
Yeah, we got 7 wins.
7 wins.
So, no, we didn't get 7 wins. This is great. So we got to 6 wins, and we had 2 losses on our cards. We did 1 more win to get the shotgun. And I was like, I really want the shotgun. I don't play trials much. I don't do well in trials. This is awesome. Guess who we got matched up with in that last game?
Oh, that's right. Who was it again?
KJ Hovey and Manigator.
Oh, it was like,
you've got to be kidding me. I just remember because I was poking around cover, shooting my Zalo at this one guy that was on the bridge. And I like kind of poked out, was shooting at him, and then kind of ducked behind cover. And while I was behind cover in that like quarter seconds, we didn't look at who we were playing against. I was like running through the initials that I had seen, and I was like, that looked a lot like KJ Hovey. I was like, I really hope it's not. And then just at that same time, he had sniped Terry, and Terry was like, oh no. And I poked out with my Zalo and finished off KJ Hovey, and I was happy for the rest of the match. We only won heavy round.
You killed Hovey.
And I think that was one of the only kills I had. I killed the guy they were carrying once.
It's funny you guys won heavy round, because when we're with our team, we usually lose heavy round, and we're like, well, that's heavy round for you. So it basically, that's what happened with you guys, except the other way around.
Well, they didn't even go for the heavy at first.
Really?
Like, they didn't try to wave it off, but they didn't set themselves up in a strategically advantageous position for heavy. Normally you just kind of set yourselves in a spot as a team to pick up heavy or to challenge heavy. They didn't. And so they were just playing us like a normal round. And so we picked up the heavy and were able to capitalize on that because they just weren't playing it.
I would have been a little terrified once I realized that as well. Because, that's like instant head games. As soon as you see somebody that on the other team, you're like, oh man, I've already died.
We got to give Joe props. So when they start tracking all these stats within the clan, Joe will have KJ Hovey kills 1, Dirt Fam 0.
Nice.
What they should do is come up with a medal, and then in that new companion app, I can look at it and see KJ Hovey dead 1. Awesome.
That's funny.
And I killed him with a Zalo too, so it wasn't even like a meta weapon, which I was.
And that
was
about. Was for your 7th win to get the.
It would have been
to get the rewards. Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
So we didn't get the rewards for 7. Which was fine. Like, you guys were talking about trials last week, and even, you guys were talking about me just in relation to the fact that I don't play trials very often. I'm kind of scared of it. And something Terry said maybe 3 or 4 weeks back really stuck with me, has very, very much helped me in my trials game. And the last 3 weekends, I've played trials every weekend, done at least 1 card, and I have done bare minimum 6 wins on every passage, and felt like I was able to contribute and work well with my team. The ticket I felt worst on actually was the one where I played with Tattoo and his friend, because they were awesome. They're great snipers, and I just didn't know how to support them. And so I was constantly getting in bad spots and not being able to help them out, dying in a stupid area or just not engaging the enemy well. So I think I need to grow in learning how to support a team of more passive, like, sniper players that are just really good. But I'm excited about the fact that what Terry told me, and what he basically told me was, play my game. Don't worry about playing meta. Don't worry about playing, to what other people do well, or what you're quote unquote supposed to do well in trials, but play my game, do what I do well. And what I do is random, stupid, play with weird weapons. And
right. Yeah.
Try to
You don't give yourself enough credit though, man. You destroy in some sweats.
I do well. I do well in sweats, and I really enjoy it. I think part of it is I can get the pacing of it. Right. Whereas, it's so disjointed, I feel like, in trials, but I'm starting to get the hang of what it means to bring my skill set to that activity and to be successful. And for me, like I said, I'm a trial scrub. I've been to the Lighthouse literally 2 times. Once the first night it was open, and it was a total fluke run. We didn't run into anybody difficult the entire passage. And I was like, oh, I'll probably do that again sometime. And then this last time with Tattoo and his friend, and they were just amazing.
Yeah, we got to give some attention.
So if I get past 5 wins, it's a tremendous success in my book. Yeah. Getting past 5 wins is a tremendous success. And so I've been very happy with how it's gone.
That's awesome, though. You made it again.
Yeah, I was really happy. I was wishing that I feel like I did learn something, but I wish I could have learned more, and been more of a productive member of the team. And I think that's the thing that's been most satisfying about the last couple of weeks, because not only have I hit that like 5, 6, 7 win category, but I've done so being a tremendous asset to my team and being able to like win some rounds and contribute. And that is really enjoyable. And I can kind of get the trials bug, that has kind of bitten you guys, because it's the first time I've really experienced success. And
that's what, like, super frustrating. When we will pull a third into the team, just to run with somebody, they'll ask us what they should run, class, weapon, whatever. And right along the lines of the same thing Terry told you, we're just like, whatever you want to run, because that's like the first step. If you're not comfortable with how you're playing or what character you have, then it's like jumping off the wrong foot immediately. So that's awesome to hear, dude. Like, we're gonna have to definitely run more often, get you in the passage here and there.
Yeah, definitely. I've been running with just Dirt Fan people, just usually, like, a lot of times we've been playing sweats, and so I'm starting to get the hang of what certain players' strengths are and which guys I just enjoy really playing with. And so a lot of times they'll see me on and be like, hey, dude, let's run trials. And I'm a little bit more, I'm less hesitant to jump in part because of what Terry has been saying, in part because of sweats, and in part because of like, oh, yeah, I have played with these guys. And yeah, let's see if I can contribute and be a part of the team.
Well, we'll have to talk next weekend. We'll have to talk to you in Discord and stuff when we chat about the rotating maps, and we'll see how everybody did. They did something funny today. Reddit did an April Fool's. They posted that Cathedral of Dusk was the trials map, which I think I said something out loud in my office, like, are you serious? They finally did it. And then Mantis, what did he post? He posted
a picture of Skyshock.
Skyshock, yeah. So they were definitely having some fun with it today. It obviously ended up being just rotating maps this weekend, but
I don't know if you guys ever pay attention to the Xur posting on Reddit either. But that's where I always go every Friday to check, and they put up just a bunch of random armor, but the weapon was the Gjallarhorn.
Oh, was it?
The Gjallarhorn, yeah. No, I saw it, and I paused for 1 second, and I was like, come on, guys.
Remember back in the day when the big topic of discussion was if Bungie controlled Xur's inventory or not? We don't even talk about that anymore.
I think it's fairly obvious now that it's pretty random.
Oh yeah. Well, and one of the funny things was I remember when Icebreaker was also in that conversation earlier in year 1, after Icebreaker and Gjallarhorn had both been sold in the first 4 weeks, and then they weren't sold again. And it was this big debate of like, they're not going to release these guns. They know they're game breaking. They know they're necessary. They want you to get them out in the environment. They're not going to make it readily available. And then Icebreaker got sold like 3 times in a month.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Gjallarhorn came, in August. So.
Well, we'll hit on, I guess, Iron Banner, maybe even a little bit more next week. This reset, guys, I hit max level in the division, so I did play that a little bit, but I did fit in one game of Iron Banner and instantly went to like, that was today actually. I went with a couple bounties in one game. I went from 0 to like 1 3/4.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm probably going to grind at least my Titan to 4 or 5, but,
yeah, I played some games the other night and, I could not get a groove, but luckily the team I was playing with was great and we won every game. So I was happy. But
that's huge. That's huge for your time commitment, man, when you can just win back to back. Yeah.
Like I started out my first game, it was sub 0.5 KD. Like it was really, really bad. And I was like, okay, I need to get it together really quick here because these guys are good. So I tried to focus and I picked it up slowly but surely, but I don't know what it is, and maybe you guys can relate, but when I take more than a couple days away from the Crucible, I come back, I'm really, really rusty for at least like an hour or two. It takes me to get my skill back. I don't know why, but I know a lot of guys, like, they can just jump right back in after being gone for a month, and it's like they were never gone, but I just can't do that.
I've actually been really testing that lately because I've been balancing 2 different games for the first time in a long time, and honestly, I surprised myself. I've jumped back in. I've been maybe a little rusty, but I pick it up way quicker than I thought I would. But it's like, it just depends too, though, man. I could be playing every day and jump on for a trials passage on Friday and something's just not clicking that night and I'm just off my shot. So it's just kind of random for me sometimes.
Yeah, it feels kind of random for me, although I think it has more to do with how much sleep I've been having. Like the less sleep I have the night before, the more poorly I do in Crucible.
I can relate to that.
I've had a really good week so far in Iron Banner. I've been trying to sleep because I had one day, I think it was Monday or something like that, where I just was terrible. And I was like, I got to get more sleep because I cannot have this happening in Iron Banner. So I went to bed early, and I've been playing really great. Although you mentioned winning all your games. We jumped in with some Derp Fam last night, I think, and we lost 8 straight, and that was just crushing. Oh, wow, and we played well. Like a lot of the games were contested, but many of the games were just against better players or against people that we just couldn't figure out what to do. And we felt like we were all playing good. There were games where we literally, all of us went positive. And we lost the game. Wow. So we just were figured out and then jumped in later in the evening and everything went great. We won almost all of our games. So
yeah, I definitely want to put in some more time because last Iron Banner, I played with quite a bit of the Derp Fam. And I got to say, if you're not already, Iron Banner is more than ever to play with Derp Fam. It's so fun to just jump in and out of different 6-man fire teams and play with the whole Derp Fam. It's a good time, but I will say that I think Clash has become my favorite for Iron Banner. I really enjoyed Clash every time. At least the last time or two it was up. The first time I think was a little rusty for me, but Control just I don't know. It's not my favorite like you, Joe.
Control is definitely like far and away my favorite. Clash is like, it's all right. Like, I'll do it. I'll grind all my characters up. But Rift is another story. We won't talk about that one. But
we covered.
Yeah, I'm trying to get 9 characters to rank 5 this week. So we'll see how that works out.
All right,
Joe,
you're gonna be busy on the weekend. Where are you gonna fit trials in, man?
That's the question. That's the operative question.
9.
I wouldn't
Did
mind.
you say
I wouldn't
9?
mind running a card with you.
I said
but,
9. I'm planning on running 9 characters to rank 5 if I can.
Wow, I don't think he's gonna fit us in, Cyborg.
Nope.
I'll make time for you guys.
Okay. We'll have to peel him away with one of his 9 characters.
Good stuff.
All right, guys. Let's get into some news.
Let's do it. We're going to save a pretty big, massive chunk of it for the main topic, but we got a couple things to chat about. We actually were just testing one of these out together, the 3 of us, right before we started recording. Yeah. What do you guys think of the companion app update?
I like what I'm seeing so far. The UI is a little more simple to navigate, I think, or maybe just more user friendly, than the old UI. I still got to kind of find and figure out where they've relocated some stuff, but it's somewhat intuitive where I can find things. Mm-hmm. So I like that so far. One thing we were talking about when we were looking at this that I thought was cool was if you go to your stats, you can scroll down and see medals, and you can actually view all of your medals and actually select one of the medals, and it will tell you what that medal is. So we were sitting here comparing, well, how many of these do you have, and do you have this medal? So that was kind of fun. And that's a cool feature that the old one I don't think had. So I like that for sure. Also, you can pull up your recent games there if you want to review some of that, see who you were playing or who you were playing with. I usually rely on some of the third-party sites and stuff to do that, but if I can do it right here on the app, I think I would use that. So
yeah, you can very quickly see on the main screen how many days you've put into Destiny.
Yeah, that's great, right?
Yeah, I gotta say, I definitely like the user the interface on this a lot, and also playing a different game that doesn't have a companion app. We take this thing for granted, dude. Like, it is so nice to have an app this in depth for a game that we love. Like, it's so cool to be able to see this stuff on your phone and your iPad. Very cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It looks gorgeous. It's crashed on me a couple times now, but I'm sure they'll apply fixes. It's gorgeous. I'm really excited to mess around with it some more.
Yep. And for you iPad users, they put out the iPad version finally this week. I think that's a new thing. And I don't have an iPad handy. I have one somewhere around the house that my son uses, but I might have to download it and see how good it is on the iPad. That could be useful.
Very nice.
Yep. In This Week at Bungie, some of this stuff we are going to, again, save for our main topic, especially the new content reveals. One thing they pointed out that you should know is that the existing Trials emblem, which I think is called the HIC jacket, HIC jacket, they're gonna sunset that emblem April 12th when the new content drops. So you've got just a few weeks to earn that flawless Trials emblem if you want that bad boy before they have the new stuff, the new flavors.
Just 1 week then, right? When is that switching
12th. Let's see.
Yeah, it will be.
Just this coming week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Last chance, Guardians. Go do your thing.
Get her done.
I'm excited. A new one to chase. Try to get.
And I think that's all we can cover in This Week at Bungie besides new content. So.
Right. We'll give you guys a reminder so we don't lose it in all this awesome new stuff we're going to talk about. Next Wednesday, which will be tomorrow when you hear this, we will have the Sandbox and Crucible updates. That will be at 11 a.m. Pacific normal time. And hopefully with the awesome Joe here, hopefully he can host it for us like he's been doing. We appreciate that, Joe.
Yeah, my pleasure. I love just getting a chance to chat with everybody while we watch. Hopefully that will work as it has the last few, and we'll continue to get to hang out together.
Yeah, no pressure. If you can't do it, we'll try to work something out, or maybe sometimes it just won't work out. But if you can do it, man, it's awesome. It's so cool to every time we do it. It seems like we get more of the Derp fame jumping in and chatting. So we probably had how many do you think we had this last week? At least it was 20 plus, I think, at least.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. I didn't look at I was actually distracted I had real life stuff come up halfway through. I was hosting, but I had real life come up halfway through and had to walk away and had to go back and rewatch part of the stream at the end.
It's like when you throw a party at your house, man, you can't really focus on just chilling and eating snacks. You got to make sure everybody's doing okay.
Well, in that case, it's like if I hosted a party at my house and then disappeared for a half
hour. Oh, there you go.
While everybody else was just
that happens.
And then came back to the party, was like, hey, yeah, this is a great party. Everybody's been having fun. I've been here the whole time, really.
Nobody knows
ourselves.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so come and join us this Wednesday, April 6th, 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Central time and 2 p.m. What is that? Eastern? Is that right? 2 p.m.
If you live in the land of Joe,
in the land of Joe,
it is 2 p.m.
East Coast. And you can jump on over and we will host that stream. That's twitch.tv/Destiny Reset. Come hang out with the Derp fam and avoid the scary chat in the main Twitch chat.
And just a note on that as well. It appears that hosting is only working on PC. That if you try to log into our chat on mobile or on the app, it won't work. So if you're able to get on a PC or Mac or whatever, if you're on a desktop or a laptop or whatever, you can log into our Twitch and it will show you the Bungie stream and allow you to chat with us. If not, still watch the stream and then you can jump in and chat with us afterwards or whatever. You should be able to still activate the chat box, but you won't be able to see the hosted stream.
I did find I found a workaround on that. If you if you open Twitch in your phone browser as opposed to using the app, and then find the option to switch to full site. Because when you open it up in your browser, it's giving you a mobile version of the site. Switch to the full site, and it will bring you to that version of the site, and you will actually see it being hosted and see the chat.
That's good.
Maybe kind of hard to type in the chat using that, but you can at least read it.
I will say too, one time over lunch when I didn't have my laptop, this obviously isn't the most wonderful fix, but I had my iPad and my iPhone. You can pull up the chat and just do that on one, obviously, and then I just pulled up Bungie stream on the other one because the chat will work. Like you said, Cyborg, but I wish they would update that mobile app.
Where there's a will, there's a way, my friends.
Yes, whatever we've got to do to join the Derp fam on the reveal streams, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of at the bottom of their list of priorities at the moment. It seems like Twitch has been having a lot of instability and issues just from some of the streams that I've jumped into the last week. It's been pretty rough. I'm not sure if they're switching something on the back end. I'm sure they'll work on it and improve it. It just seems like that's probably not in the immediate future with some of the different issues that it sounds like they've been dealing with.
Right.
We'll see.
Good stuff,
Twitch,
man.
get your Twitch together.
YouTube was challenging them there for a while. It still is with their gaming channel situation. But I don't know. Twitch still seems to be going strong.
Yeah, I've seen a couple guys that were on there and have gone back to Twitch. Seen some Twitters saying, I'm going to be back on Twitch for the foreseeable future. So we'll see how that war ends. But anyways, how about we move into this main topic, fellas, and get into the good stuff.
I am excited.
You ready?
I cannot wait.
We're going to break this down for you guys, and hopefully we don't miss anything. But it's possible because there was a lot of stuff.
There's a lot to talk about, which I love. I love that there's a lot to talk about. So this week, if you watch the stream reveal, it was all about rewards. The goods, right?
Loot.
And I would love to just start off this conversation by saying that I just love cosmetic stuff in Destiny. I live for it. I live for shaders, and this chroma thing seems really cool and is really gonna wrap up a lot of my time.
Yes, that was honestly, it was kind of we can start with chroma. It was a surprise to get that. I didn't think we would get something like that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Right now.
Looking at some of the images and the different stuff they had teased us with, like I didn't put that together. I just thought that what I was looking at, just the armor was like that,
Right.
So, I'd seen, we had seen last week, and it had that one thing that said chroma, but I didn't know what the heck that really meant. But this is a really interesting addition, and definitely a way to add some more rewards and some more stuff for us to chase, and some more, a lot more customization. I guess at another layer that we've ever had.
So we've got new armor, obviously, and we're getting new armor from each of the factions, right? And then we've got the Taken Desolate, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Armor?
Yeah.
Yes. And then the
Spectar.
Spectar. Yes. So what you can do on that armor with the chroma is, didn't they say you can actually, and basically the chroma, guys, is just almost like a light. It looks like just it's lit with a different color underneath the armor, almost like it's ground effects on a car.
That's the best way I've been able to think about it.
There's like these certain spots on the armor that are designed to light up, and so maybe it's like a stripe on the front of the Warlock helmet, or maybe it's ribbing on the Titan chest piece, or whatever. There's certain parts of the armor that is designed to glow if you have put one of these chroma material things in it of a particular color, and then it will glow with that color. And there's 4 different options.
Yep.
Yeah, and they said you can put it on multiple pieces of your gear, like different colors. So you could be red, white, and blue if you wanted to. What 4 colors did we get? What was it?
Yeah, it was just white,
yellow, white, blue, and red, I think.
Red. Okay.
Yep.
So you can apply it like different
colors in white.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I have to ask you guys this, though, because I watched the stream again, parts of the stream again tonight. And basically, like you said, Cyborg, it's another node inside your gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize this when I watched it the first time, but it's already applied. Like it's already white, or it's one of the colors. And you have to have the material to apply it to what it already is preset to be. And then underneath that node is a re-rolling option, if you will, for 100 glimmer that lets you re-roll what color that piece of armor can be, what chroma effect it can have.
Yep. And then so it's like which one it will take,
again.
And then you have to take the chroma and put it in that slot, right?
So was my first thought with that, though. Why didn't they just make it to where it confuses me that you have to re-roll it. Like, why didn't they just make it to where you could apply, if you have all 4 of the different chromas, why does the gear preset to one of the colors? Why didn't they just let you just put one node there and you apply one of the 4 you have? You know what I mean?
I don't know. There's probably some guy at Bungie who right now is listening and screaming at us to say there's some really complicated reason for why that is the best solution.
I can take a guess. My guess is it has something to do with the way that perks work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My guess, that like the coding has something to do with a perk that is in the coding of how armor works, right? So there's a node and it has to have a value, right?
Mm-hmm. Very true. And I guess if they did it the way that I'm saying, almost have to be a little sub-menu would have to pop up inside of your gear. So it could be something as simple as that.
It's got to be related to the fact that it was the simplest way to code it.
Right.
Is my guess, you know?
And I didn't even realize that the first time I watched it. So yeah, then you can just pay 100 glimmer and say if you have a helmet that can be white, chroma, then you re-roll it until you get, say you want blue, which is what I'm going to probably be hunting for. And then I basically still have to I lose the white one that I put in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to have a blue one to put in the new re-rolled node.
Yeah.
So it's exciting though, man.
And it doesn't start lit. Like it doesn't start lit up. Even if you have let's say it's a yellow, it won't start lit up. It'll be just dark in those areas that can light up. But I think this is a really elegant system for doing stuff like weapon skins and customization, because I've been against weapon skins the whole time that it's been a debate, because I think that if you look at the way that Destiny works, like the art is so good, and some of the things that differentiate these guns, like what's the difference between a Tunela and what's the Dead Orbit Scout Rifle? I'm blanking on it right now.
Hung Jury.
The Hung Jury. What's the difference between those? They're the exact same thing.
Yep.
The difference is the paint coat.
Yeah.
And the art in Destiny is incredible. And if I was an artist at Bungie, I would be like, well, we're not doing weapon skins. Like, why would I sacrifice? Like, we made this gun named and what it was based on the art that has been applied to. Why would we give the players an option to just remove that art and efface it, And I think this is a really elegant way to solve that problem, to give customization, but to retain the beauty and the patterns of the art that were there. And it's not going to go on every gun. I don't think we've mentioned it yet, that this isn't going to go on your current armor that you have now. These are all going to be weapons and armor that have this as a specific node that you will earn after the update. And not all weapons and not all armor will have it.
Yeah. They did show us, they did apply it to, because my thought always was kind of the same. Like, exotics are so unique. Like, do we really want to put a skin,
same with
color
that.
Skin on
same
it? But they showed us on stream, that was Lord of Wolves, right? That he was applying several different colors.
No, that was...
They didn't show us exotics with that.
That was one of what was it called?
It was a Prison of Elders gun.
Yeah, Prison of Elders gun.
Was is it a new gun, or was it?
Yeah.
So well, it's not an exotic. Reskin of an old gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I
can
tell.
I thought
the
that
exotics
was Lord
are
of
not
Wolves
getting
on that.
The exotics are not getting chroma as far as we know.
Okay, well then that's good. I like that then. Okay, good.
It was the
because
same
I rewatched
frame.
it again today, and I was like, oh man, that looks just like Lord of Wolves, because I had heard it on another podcast or something. But that's good. Okay, good. I'm glad it's not on exotics then.
Yeah, it's not going to be on exotics as far as we know so far, which I think is the right move. Once again, same concept, that these exotics, and part of what Bungie has done, and everybody hates the fact that Twilight Garrison doesn't take a shader, but part of the reason for that, I forget where I heard it, is just that when you look at another player, if they have some kind of unique advantage over you, you want to be able to very quickly identify what that is, whether that's the sound of a gunshot, whether that's the way that a gun feels when it hits you, whether that's the way an armor piece looks and is distinct. That if they have some kind of advantage, you want to be able to see that. That's why Graviton Forfeit is a giant purple thing on your face, that if they have a guaranteed shade step and they're using another perk, Bungie wants you to know that when you're playing PvP against them, They want that to be not only a stylistic and artistic thing, but also a functionality thing when it comes to competition.
That's a great point.
I'm sitting here. We are now 1.5 items in of this stream. Can you imagine being a new player coming into Destiny on April 12th? Like, holy cow! We just spent 5+ minutes on Chroma alone. I wanted to say real quick too. We mentioned the Desolate armor. That is the Taken armor set, right?
Yeah,
that's the one that makes you look like you're Taken. And then when you get all of that gear, you get a Taken emote. Correct.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was
and
a good touch.
You can't buy that Taken emote. You actually unlock it at Eververse when you get the full set, which can be attained in. Is it Challenge of Elders or just the? Is that where you get the Desolate set?
No, that only comes from the Sterling treasure boxes.
Right.
No, is it really? It only. I thought it
really
also
is.
Came from Prison of Elders.
It might.
Well, Sterling
My
treasure
understanding
boxes
was it only comes
that.
from treasure boxes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, that works. Man, I watched the stream 2 times and I still don't have it 100% down. There was just too much info in that.
There's lots. I'm sure there's certain things even. I mean, DG even had to go back and correct some stuff in the weekly update.
Right.
Or in the This Week at Bungie, not the update. He had to go in and just clarify a couple things. So, I mean, we're par for the course if we missed a few details.
So much info. Well, that's why we got 3 of us on here, because we'll hash it out, right? So the other big thing, which they kind of set this up, and we saw it coming after about a minute of them kind of delaying the infusion. But infusion's 1 for 1 now, right? That's amazing.
Big announcement there, man.
This was needed for exotics.
Hours of grinding out of the game, right?
Yeah, I think this was just needed for exotics. Even if they just made this an exotic only thing, it needed to happen. Exotic infusion was way too costly. You got nothing out of it. There was no reason to do it.
Well, you put 5 or 6 items.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, into one thing just to get
60%.
Yep.
You only get 60% of what you put in.
And overall, that fusion was just confusing, right? I mean, even
an exotic shard every time you do it too.
Yeah, and even with having to use these infusion calculators and stuff, which sometimes wouldn't be right, because they didn't know the exact math behind that. But yeah, I mean, especially with exotics, you're trying to bring stuff up. The values were different on exotics when you would infuse those. You use tons of exotic shards. It was just kind of I don't know. I don't think it was well thought.
I think Infusion for exotics was designed with 3 of coins in mind, which, I mean, I want to talk about that a little bit later, about 3 of coins for the future. But like that, it seems like that was the intention with that. And this 1-for-1 thing makes having an exotic and actually infusing it like an actual thing you could do, whereas before it was you couldn't do it.
Well, even with the rewards we have now, like we need some increased light rewards across some activities, like I've mentioned trials before. But even if they implemented this right now without increasing the light on those rewards, it still makes me more excited because, what I get, I know that's exactly what I can infuse. If it's better, it's going right to it. I mean, that's exciting.
Well,
exactly.
A great example of how broken that system was specifically with heavy weapons, because once you hit a certain light level, like, let's be honest, like heavy weapons don't drop nearly as much as primaries and especially secondaries, but
like in the raid you're talking?
Well, anywhere.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, look at all your rewards and maybe your results are different, but I would get far less heavies unless we're talking about Ruin Wake, which is dropping at sub 300 levels if you're getting that gun. So if you've got, all your basic heavies that you like, you have your legendaries that you're using for certain stuff, and then you have your exotics, you might get a lot of 310 exotic drops for your heavies over time. But if you're trying to get those up to 320, you're going to have a bad time, bro, because the only way to get those 320 heavies were pretty much through challenge mode, unless you just got a really, really luck in RNG. But I would very rarely get between 310 and 320. And so
you're absolutely right about that.
So the 320 drops I got, I kept, and I didn't use to infuse my 310 stuff because I really needed that high level heavy. And so I didn't have any infusion fuel to bridge the gap between 310 and 320 on a lot of my exotics like Truth or Sleeper. Yeah, I mean, those took freaking forever because I didn't want to sacrifice the 320 heavies I had just to get some of those up. And so I still have a bunch of 310 level heavies that I've never been able to bring up. And I guess with enough time, I could have gotten enough 320s if I did challenge mode like every single time. But I'm trying to use
only
that
one
as an
out of
example,
every 3
like,
challenge modes. Yeah, only 1 out of every 3 challenge modes though is going to give you that potentially, and it doesn't even guarantee because you're not even like, you could get the Quillam's Terminus or the Eliam's Frenzy from War Priest, but he's the only one that drops heavy.
And I got some,
even
but
if
I used a couple and I got my Sleeper up to like, I want to say 315, but it was just such a slow progression. So
mine's at 315 too.
Yeah. So anyways, point being, like, that was a great example of how that system didn't work well, based on the economy. And I just think they made a really good choice having this be 1-to-1. So now if I get, for a little while, we'll get some 335 gear and we're going to keep it and use it. But eventually you're going to get some duplicates of stuff, and you'll actually be able to go 1-to-1 and bring up the gear that you really like without having to worry about the in-between, and be able to immediately compete with that, armor piece or that gun or whatever it is that you want,
Right.
So I really like that.
Well, speaking of 335s, we have many activities now. They said that this is probably one of the most exciting things for me.
Agreed.
That you can get 335 gear from. They said, of course, Challenge of the Elders, which is the new Prison of Elders, hardest difficulty. You can get 335. The Raid on hard, you can get 335. On normal, you can get 330. They said twice.
320.
Or sorry.
It's 320. Yeah.
320. Yeah. They said twice after a hotfix, though. So I don't know why that hotfix isn't being applied, unless it's just behind in the queue and it's not going to be applied April 12th. Or either that or they just want us to play Prison of Elders before we jump back in the raid to get 335.
My understanding of that is just the way that they announced it was that they said it was going to be 330 for hard mode, and they even published that. And then I think they thought through it. Maybe somebody asked a question to them either on Twitter or some of the content creators and said, well, why not make it 335?
Right.
And they considered it and said, that's a good idea. Let's change it. That's
wonder,
my impression.
I wonder how long that hotfix will take and how much time they're going to give us to go play Prison of Elders as our PvE content for 335 before they apply that hotfix.
Yeah.
My guess is it'll come out on Wednesday.
You think
that's
so?
My bet.
That quick?
Yeah.
Well, then
I think it'll be Wednesday.
That works. Either way, this is exciting because we get 335 stuff from Iron Banner, trials, strike, unique specific gear, artifacts from Court of Oryx, just artifacts, exotic engrams will drop at 335. And then Joe, you actually just added on here the year one weapons that we're going to talk about here shortly that you get from Vanguard and Crucible packages. Those will drop at 335 as well?
They can drop up to 335.
Up to 335.
It'll depend on your light, just like normal. Right. But they said that those are one of the things that can drop up to 335.
I gotcha. So this is what Destiny needed. We needed multiple ways to get the highest light level stuff to grind our characters up to max level. Now, the only thing I'm concerned with is, like I've been asking for forever in trials, like we've been asking for, is to get more frequent higher light rewards. And I'm sure this will probably all still be based on the light that you are at the time. But I just hope that it almost feels like it did when we were upgrading our blues when Taken King first came out. Like I want to feel like I'm constantly progressing, which I guess then again the infusion 1-for-1 will help in that scenario as well. Yeah. Cyborg, what were you gonna say, man?
I don't even know.
What do you think about this, dude? You don't have to just go raid.
I'm thinking about it. I'm listening to what you guys have to say, and I'm loving it, man. I'm just...
You don't have to be the raid machine anymore.
Well, no, that was my point. The fact that it's going to encourage me to vary my activities, I like, because it didn't take long after the Taken King dropped before I stopped running strikes. I stopped running Court of Oryx, a lot of this stuff. And even... the other stuff like Iron Banner and Trials and all these things, like I was just doing those for fun, not really caring about the rewards because I knew the rewards weren't really going to be that great. As far as light level was concerned, maybe not as far as the gear, but I knew it wasn't going to help me progress at all. And then I would have to use like my raid stuff to, raise the level of those items that I would get is what I was having to do. So I just like the variety, and I'm looking forward to getting some more variety in my play in Destiny.
We needed this so bad. I mean, it's so great to log in now and be able to go to all these places to progress with our character.
I agree with Cyborg, and from the other side, I jokingly dub myself as the most hardcore casual Destiny player because I can't make it to the lighthouse usually. This last weekend excepting, I don't do hard raids just because they're difficult, they're challenging, they're time consuming, and you really need a team that you've done it with before to be very successful with it. And I'm just not about that life. I'd rather run strikes. I'd rather just play random Crucible. I'd rather do my Nightfall rewards and my weekly Crucible and do my, try to get those strike exclusive things. So, and Iron Banner's my jam, and that's what I get my best light stuff from. So for me, coming from exactly the opposite perspective as Cyborg, but the same result, I'm looking forward to all of these things being able to pay out top level gear.
Yeah.
Because I don't always like to play those, really guaranteed activities, and this will be more opportunities to get highlight stuff. Like I'm still not above 315 on any character. So
well, that's great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It sounds like they've done a good job of taking care of multiple different types of players. So I think they made a good decision there.
Just us sitting here talking about it is getting me more excited about the fact that we have all these activities to do now.
Get hype.
Get hype, bro.
Yeah, somebody commented on Reddit that this is the first time they've ever had, and it was refuted afterwards with one, asterisk, but this is the first time we've had multiple avenues to endgame, full light. Like they talked about, we had Vault of Glass, but then when Crota's End came out, Crota's End was at the highest light and Vault of Glass stuff wasn't. and you needed that one activity, at least for PvE. And then when Prison of Elders came, they did give you the Etheric Light to raise up anything else, but Prison of Elders is what gave you the highest light gear, and that's the only thing that gave you a mechanism, to go back to those other things and raise them up. But once again, that was only derived from one activity.
Right.
And so in a lot of cases, they've just made one activity the center for all endgame loot. And it's nice to see them open the door on that and give you all these different avenues. I'm really excited to play all these different things and get cool stuff.
Before we move to the next one, I want you guys to clarify something for me. The strike unique specific gear. So if that is a specific gun that drops from a specific strike, that has a chance to drop up to 335, even if you grind it on the heroic strike playlist.
That is my understanding.
And then, so I did see someone, and sorry I can't credit you for this, it may have been in Discord. Does that make Nightfalls even that much more exciting? Because you can run, we've talked about this on the show before.
Yeah, that is my understanding.
Because is there a chance
even the stuff that
okay,
like even a treads could drop it up to 335, and that drops straight from the boss. That's not an end thing. So whether it's the Nightfall or a heroic strike or just a chosen strike, that if you can get that thing to drop, that it can drop up to 335. Both cool. New and existing. That's my understanding. I could be wrong on that one, but that's how I've understood what they've said about that so far, which is exciting.
About on the show before too about if the strike that you can get treads upon stars is the Nightfall. We've talked about it on the show, and I don't know that if it was ever confirmed, but people were almost certain the drop rate was, for some reason, seemed like it was higher when it was the Nightfall.
It's always higher on the Nightfall. That's why people were farming Imago Loop a few weeks back when it was Undying Mind.
It is higher drop rate. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's higher there was a guy who did a Reddit thing. I wish I could credit him. Who did strikes in the regular playlist and in the heroic playlist. And I think it was within a day, these two guys both did 200 strikes and posted their gear results. That one. And it was almost exactly 2 times for the strike exclusive from the normal to the heroic. And so I think that once again it would be a similar factor, maybe 4 times the normal, 2 times the heroic for the Nightfall strike. There seems to have been a pretty significant and observable increase when doing it on the Nightfall for any of the gear that could drop from that boss.
The only problem with this list is that of 335 activities, the Nightfall is not listed.
Right? Yep.
Yeah, the Nightfall is going to get a 10 light increase in all likelihood. That's just it's a guess.
Yeah.
It'll probably get a 10 light increase.
They're not.
It's not going to be 335 though.
They're not giving us our look back, man. Our flaming noggin, as I called it last week.
See, I have a theory about this though, Arrow. I don't know if I've talked with you guys about this, but I've mentioned it in parties that I've played with. On one of my alt accounts, I'm playing with no 3 of coins, and the theory is essentially that I think that 3 of coins is, although I cheered it on when it first came, I think is one of the worst things for the game right now. I think they have really taken pains in many of the exotics to make them not the only answer. So in year 1, it was Gjallarhorn, it was Icebreaker, it was Thorn, and you needed it to be successful. They've really leveled the playing field with those exotics and worked very hard to make them balanced. And now they're these collector's items. And I think that one of the reasons why we don't get excited about those things and why we don't get excited about the Nightfall rewards has less to do with the Nightfall rewards and less to do with the exotics and more to do with 3 of coins and the accessibility of exotics. And so I really believe that if you take those out, you get that year 1 excitement when you pull a cool exotic. You get that year 1 excitement when you get a good gun. You don't have tons of infusion fuel sitting at 310 to pop into these guns. You get, when you get a 305 chest piece from the Nightfall, it's so much better than it was before because you don't have all these different, for me, exotic engrams that were infusion fuel. So I think that 3 of coins makes Nightfall rewards not seem good. I think the ghost thing is true that does impact it as well, that we get ghosts frequently. But I think in general the Nightfall rewards are lackluster because 3 of coins exists.
Well, used to, I got most of my exotics from the Nightfall. There's not many just straight up exotic drops that drop for me, or I have to run Nightfalls first, but it didn't seem like
that's
it there
the
for
key,
a while.
Though.
Yeah.
See, Arrow, you don't. The problem is that we don't run Nightfalls. Like
right.
I don't run Nightfalls, but on this new account, I've been running Nightfalls, and I get exotics. I have like 16 or 17 exotics on this account, not using any 3 coins, only from Weekly Crucible, from Nightfalls, and then from buying stuff from Xur. I have 17 to 20 exotics.
I got to say, I've gotten 3 or 4 exotics from the Weekly Crucible bounties. I've mentioned that on the show because I'm doing those. I'm not doing the Nightfalls. So that makes sense. Yeah. I'm not going to get exotics from the Nightfalls if I don't run them.
Yeah.
So that's a good point, man. It's a good theory.
And that's something where, if we're going to talk about, what should you do to prepare for this expansion? This is something else, just a thought that I had this week. What are you going to do to prepare for the expansion? My suggestion is, if you want the content to last, don't use 3 of coins, A, and B, don't prepare. Mm-hmm. Because the more time that we spend amassing resources to come into this expansion, we're cutting literally like days and sometimes weeks off of the time that we would have spent with this new content. So my plan is to go in not using any 3 coins and not preparing it all, so that I can enjoy the expansion and have it last as long as possible. That's my strategy. You don't have to do the same thing. You can prepare all you want. But if you want the content to last, those are my suggestions.
Yeah, good points, man.
Well, let's keep it moving here, guys. We've got a lot of ground to cover.
We do.
And we're talking about rewards. So let's talk about this new reward mechanic, Sterling Treasure Boxes.
Yes.
So Sterling Treasure Boxes are where you're going to get all of this really cool new armor, specifically the excuse me, sorry, I got some salt in my throat. Hold on. The Desolate and the Spectar armor are available in these boxes. And also you'll be able to get chroma, ships, sparrows, and these new things called boosts, which are like reputation boosts that you can get for different factions. And so you can earn up to a total of 3 of these a week. So you can get one by playing one of the weekly featured Crucible matches. You can play the level 41 Prison of Elders that's coming. And then also we get a freebie, which is pretty cool, once a week in the Postmaster. So what do you guys think about these Sterling Treasures?
I love them if we stop talking about them right now.
Okay. All right. So
that all
right
works
along.
Great.
So one thing that was cool is you could open up the Sterling Treasure box, and you can see the possible
that was pretty neat.
Items that it holds in it. I like that.
That is nice.
I like that.
It's got a fun little animation when you're opening it. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Waiting for you. It reminds me of the little bit of Hearthstone that I've played when you get the new packs. That's exciting just to wait to see what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
But we can move forward to the other little part of these Sterling Treasure boxes.
Okay, so here's the sticky part. These Sterling Treasure boxes will be available to purchase in the Eververse, and I think it was $250 US.
It's $2. I had originally thought it was $250. I went back and I was wrong. It's $2.
All right, 2 ducats. How many silvers is that? What, 200 silvers?
Uh-huh.
So you can buy this. So here's the thing. So the available armor that's available in this stuff, the Spectar and the Desolate armor, they only come at 3 defense. Okay. So technically, when you buy this, you're not buying anything that gives you any sort of advantage when you are playing, at least not directly. Okay.
Right.
But you can get some other cool stuff along with that vanity armor, quote unquote, like chroma, ships, sparrows, and boosts, that will, may or may not hold value for you. So, what do you guys think about this in particular?
So Joe and I we had a long discussion about this on Discord already, and then we did again today with a lot of the Derp fam in Discord. And I have to start off by saying, you don't even want to say, it's not that we even have defended Bungie. They haven't really come that close to the line for me. Even when Eververse was introduced, totally, it was all good. This for me is, it is so close to flirting with the line, because it's, yes, the armor is 3 defense, but I just said armor, and you can now spend $2 to buy 2 different sets of armor that is in this game. And now that Infusion is 1-to-1, whether you think that influenced it or not, now all the Infusion fuel that I'm setting on, I could go just pay $10 and try to get a set of this gear. Ultimately, it's completely up to you. If you want to spend the money, that's totally fine. That's neither here nor there. It's just, it really hit me wrong this time, for the first time I think since this game launched, that we can now spend real money to get actual armor and armor sets in this game. But Joe, you go for it, man. We'll talk about this for a little bit. We've already hashed it out a few times.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on it about how I feel. I think these are armor pieces that behave like skins.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have power, as we've already said, and so they act like a skin. They don't have unique perks on them. They don't have any extra abilities. They don't have, by default, higher than average stat rolls. You get 3 of these a week as is, for basically nominal time. It maybe an hour. If you play an hour a week, you'll get 3 boxes. And at the same time, it just feels dirty. I trust Bungie. I don't think that this is. I don't think that they're doing something that's going to jeopardize their game. I think they've shown a consistent pattern of prioritizing the integrity of their game and not allowing Eververse to become something that's pay to win. They've said before all along, it's not going to be pay to win. You posted this quote in here, and I posted this in the chat too because I feel like this is a little dubious. But Deej said, as you can see, these items are strictly vanity in the stream. And they kind of are. They're armor pieces, like you said, Arrow. And they work like shaders. They work like skins, They're kind of vanity, but
when we
at the end of the day,
Discord,
they're still armor.
They're not. That's the thing, is we were talking about that. They're not
perks.
Skins. They're not skins.
They still
there
do.
you go. There you go, Cyborg. Now they come with perks on that armor, and now you can basically pay $2 to reroll perks on armor.
You can pay $2 to roll the slot machine, is what you can play. And I think that's even worse. It'd be one thing if you could pay $10 to buy the set of armor.
Yep.
Right.
There's
a couple
but it's
things
no,
here
you could pay $2 to roll the slot machine, to roll the dice, to maybe get that piece of armor that you kind of want with maybe okay stat rolls. Now, I think it's good that there's no special stat rolls, because if there were special perks on those armor pieces, there'd be a different conversation.
Right.
If there were above average stat rolls on those and allocations, this would be a different conversation. But
there's just a couple different things here. It's okay. Deej saying, as you can see, these items are strictly vanity. That is not. They just need to call it what it is. They're not vanity. Okay. So the thing that he's referring to is you do actually have to go play these in-game activities to get the fusion fuel you need to make these items valuable for what you need them to do. But
yeah, they're useless without you playing the game.
So you do have to go play the game. That's cool. But it's armor with perks. It's really the only thing missing here that they're doing that they said they wouldn't do was paying for power. So they put the defense at 3 and instead of 335, And so we're not paying for power. And now we've been down this road before with Bungie and Activision and this or that. And I agree with you, Joe. I trust Bungie. You know, this is still going to be my favorite game. This is just the first time that I've really I haven't forced myself. I've thought about this since the stream. And there's a reason I'm thinking about it, because I've never done this before with the game since it launched. And it's because this just rubs the community wrong a little bit. Some of the community it just doesn't set well with me. But I'm still going to log in every day. I'm not going to say that I will not ever buy one of these packages, but it is very honestly, we talked about this a little bit before the show, Cyborg. I probably will never buy one of these. I don't want to. I just want to go play the game. Now, one thing I want us to clarify, and I was trying to search on the internet, you almost have to be able to get the Desolate Armor from Prison of Elders, right? I mean, there's no way you can or what you guys told me is you don't get it as a drop from Prison of Elders. You get it from the 3 of the Sterling Treasures you get in a week.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think they've clarified what your armor piece, because they've said you get an armor piece for having the highest or the cumulative score.
Right.
But they didn't stipulate what that armor piece was.
That's true. That's true.
And so it could be
that's the challenge of Elders.
And honestly,
right?
if they the challenge. And if they do that for the Desolate, then whatever, it's not a thing.
Well, the thing
I think this might end up being something that blows over. That's not a big deal in the end, based on how they execute it.
Practically,
but it might be something that's bad.
I don't think that they can use these as a reward for that, because that's an in-game activity.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you feel having just completed what is their in-game activity and you get a piece of armor that's 3 defense?
It won't be 3 defense. If that's part of the drop pool, there's no way it'll be 3 defense, because they've said before that that's your ticket to get 335 stuff.
Yeah. Right. So do you think that you'll see the Spectar or Desolate Armor drop at highlight levels there?
If it's in the loot pool, that's the question, is what armor, the question that I still have is, what armor do you get from the cumulative high score? They said that that's what you get the armor from. What armor do I get? Do I get Desolate set? Do I get the Spectar set? Do I get another set? I think the answer is that you get another set, but it could be that you get the Desolate or the Spectar, but they haven't said.
Well, the reason I say that I don't want to say I'm never going to buy one of these packages is partly because I don't know. There's other stuff in here other than those sets of gear. There's class items, right? And there's, have they said if we can get those class items other places? I'm not
you can
buying.
Still get them from your 3 that you don't have to pay for those.
Right, the 3 you get
those
a week.
Treasure boxes to get a chance at
those.
Well,
then there you go.
Right?
I'm on board with you, Cyborg. I will probably not ever buy one of these Sterling Treasure boxes. It reminded me of in a different way of your Skull Mask hunt, man. That didn't have any light rewards to it, but man, that. It's can you imagine buying 15 of these and you don't get the helm that you want? But I guess if you bought 15, you can probably buy 15 more.
Well, the difference between that and this is that I can earn these.
Very true.
Through other activities, right?
So that makes, the Skull Mask
even
a little worse.
Because you couldn't.
I got one opportunity per character to get that for free, and that was it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm still salty about that, but I'm going to leave it behind in the past.
One thing I was thinking is, even as we were talking, and I think that we mentioned before, and I told you guys, this was the first time that I thought to myself, maybe real life won't be the thing that takes me away from Destiny someday. Maybe having kids and some responsibility that I inherit, maybe that won't be the thing that pulls me away and doesn't allow me to return.
Right.
Maybe it'll be something like this. And as I've been sitting here, as we're talking even now, I think one of the things that's going to be hard for a lot of people to do, because I think it's hard in life, is to realize that the things that we love change. And Destiny Year 2 is not Destiny Year 1. Mm-hmm. And there are certain things that it bears that similarity towards and certain things it doesn't. And Destiny is evolving, it's becoming something else. And some of those changes are minor, and some of those changes feel really big, and some of them are alarming to people who have played it and who love it and who loved it for what it was in Year 1.
Right.
And there may come a day where I don't love it, and I don't love what it has become. But at the moment, I feel like Destiny is this wonderful thing that I've really loved, and I'm really glad that I've had. And I'm not sure if that will continue or not, but I think it's important to recognize that it is changing. and that there may be a day where I don't love it.
Well, the thing is, man, it's like part of it to me is they're kind of just not calling it what it is, like calling it a vanity.
I think that's fair.
Vanity item it's not like you're just kind of just going around it a bit. But so just real quick, we can wrap this up. Cyborg, you said before the show you're not gonna buy any of these Sterling Treasure boxes, didn't you?
Absolutely not.
You're not. Joe, you said you were.
I'm planning on spending $20, which is what I would have spent on the expansion. I'm planning on spending $20 on each console in silver, just because I think it's important to support the game.
Right.
And that's like a small amount compared to what they've put into it. I think that's like a little amount. So I want to support them. I don't know whether I'll buy them on emotes or just emotes, or whether I'll also buy the boxes. Right. The more I think about it, the more I think that it, like, after that first week is going to be when I should decide. After I've had 3 boxes for free and I get my second 3 boxes, I think that's when I should decide whether I want to buy more.
But Joe, I'm going to
buy the emotes.
Let me counter your point here. You just got done talking about 3 of coins and how you feel that it affects the reward systems and your value of receiving those rewards. And you just got done telling us not to prep too much and enjoy the game, for what it is, and not spend too much time trying to get a huge advantage. Why would you do that to yourself and buy these boxes and these packages when you just stated your position? You'd rather just let the game reward you through play.
No, I think that's a very, very fair point that pretty much unseats what my plan is. I haven't really thought. I need to think through it some more now.
Good.
I know I'm going to spend the $20 on silver,
and I'm just
regardless,
saying that
whether I buy emotes or whatever.
Playing devil's advocate to your position.
No, I know.
I want you to play however you want to play, but
well, you said very specifically you want to support them, and I mean, and it is exciting to buy these things, and I've bought sparrows, and I feel weird, in my statement a minute ago, I'm sitting here saying I don't agree with this, and then I said I don't know for sure. I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy one of these. Well, now that you guys have clarified for me, what I wasn't really understanding is that I'm going to get 3 a week, and there's nothing in them that I can't get from those 3 a week. Then I'm not going to buy any either. I'm right there with you, Cyborg. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to support Bungie.
No, not at all. And I'm going to go buy emotes.
Right.
Like, I'm completely cool with that economy system. They're doing a great job with these emotes and
I have a really cool purple sparrow, man.
I love it. They look awesome.
Cool
I'm going to put the $20 into silver. I just haven't decided what I'm going to spend it on yet.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to wait at least a week before I decide whether or not I'm going to buy the treasure chest. But I might.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm definitely going to spend the money, though, to support the studio.
With this money that we're supporting them with by buying emotes and sparrows and things like that. So up to this point, I hope they're putting a lot of their resources like we think they are, and we're going to have from year 3 on a very stable content, strategized release, So anyways, we can wrap this up.
I don't know that you can expect that, right. But I understand why. I just think we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I'm sure. But in terms of like what year 3 is going to look like, because I would envision it's going to be different than year 1 and year 2, but it might not be the way that we would hope.
I can promise you this: the grand experiment of monetization in year 2, we're going to see on a much greater level in Destiny 2.
It was successful.
I think it was.
They made their money.
But was it successful enough for them? Because we really don't know how much revenue they're getting from this.
That's true.
We're a niche of players that, out of the 3 of us, I've spent probably $20 at every opportunity that they've put new stuff in the Eververse. But I am a particular player that is willing to do that. I have the income to support that habit, okay? And but I don't know how much of a minority or majority I am. We exist in kind of a vacuum where we can't see how many players there are and how many players there are like us. So in the grand scheme of things, we don't know if this is considered a success for them. I'm sure maybe it's not a complete failure because they've gotten some revenue out of it. But my point is that each one of these steps is part of an experiment, and they're going to see what is the most successful way to get revenue through the system, and it will absolutely play a bigger part of what happens in Destiny 2. I will not be surprised if there's already stuff to buy in the store when Destiny 2 day one starts, and it's going to be a lot more content than we're seeing right now.
Well, see, what I was going to say in addition to your point is my initial thought was, man, they're introducing this Sterling Treasure with armor because they made so much money off of what they've done so far. Maybe it's the opposite. They haven't made as much as they thought they would, so now they're going to introduce little treasure boxes that actually give you armor in the game and see how much revenue that can bring in.
Yep. And they're going to take that, and right. If it does great, then they're going to expand it, and you're going to see it even more. And it will, and I'm pointing this out because I'm looking at what are the big things that are coming up. So we're getting a big update in the fall, and then we're getting a whole, full sequel titled game or whatever next year. And I promise you, the things that they figure out that they're doing well this year, they're going to play on that strength when they put out big releases, and you're going to see it way more.
I don't know. We're three guys from the Derp fam, which we all know is a pretty positive community, and we're keeping this pretty darn constructive. But you can tell it doesn't. This little treasure box doesn't quite settle well with us. So that's something to be said about that. Something to be said about that.
Yeah.
So, all right,
we'll keep it moving here. Any other comments on this, guys, before we move on?
I think we got it, man.
Joe's being uncharacteristically quiet at the moment.
No, I'm just listening to you guys. I think I'm just thinking through it again, and I think you guys have hit really good points of argument. And I think you're absolutely right. We'll find out if this experiment was successful. If they integrate more of this later. And I would be very surprised if our fall expansion and Destiny 2 did not have microtransactions launching alongside of it. Yeah, I'd be very surprised.
We'll throw it out to the Derp fam. Tweet us, guys, and or hit us up on Facebook. Let us know what you think of the Sterling Treasure boxes at Eververse.
Yes, please. So let's get it on a positive note. Here's a great thing that we cannot complain about even once. Vault space. One more page, guys, per category. Great.
All I could think about,
I'm so happy.
All I could think about was how much we wanted more vault space back in the day, and then they just and they were like, "Man, it's going to be so hard for us to do that." Yada yada yada, and then they're just like, "Boom! Here's another page."
Well, that's what was so surprising for me, was because when they came out with it for the Taken King, they really expounded upon like how hard it was for them to find the extra memory to do that. And then all of a sudden they're just like, "Oh yeah, here's another page."
Right?
I'm like, you could just do it just like that? Like, where did you find this memory?
I didn't even think about the fact that I was going to have to make I have one slot, I think, in my weapons and armor available right now on my PlayStation account. So I am so glad they did this.
I was already starting to stress like last week. I was like, I got to clean my vault out. Oh, come on, man.
Yep. I've started collecting blues, so I'm in big trouble.
Well, now you're in luck, man. Now you're in luck.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is one
of the things I'm most excited about.
Very cool, man.
Yep. And then the next great thing, I don't think we can complain about this either, is the reputation gain increase for almost all the activities: Strikes, Crucible, Prison of Elders. And then they came out, they put up another blog post and detailed all this, and it's pretty much across the board as far as I can tell. The only thing I didn't see they listed was the Nightfall.
They already bumped that up to 500 and 250, so
I think that's where they want it to be. But Heroic Strikes got a bump, Crucible. Here's a great one. You get an additional bonus for winning. Patrols even got a bump in reputation. So I'm pretty happy about this because I'm like a big faction package guy. Always have been.
Yeah. I mean, basically they're taking it. I mean, they kind of did this a while back, but they're making it more rewarding for the time that you put into the game. So that's a good thing across the board.
Can I just put one thought out here? Do any of you guys wonder if this is like going to be a recurring thing where they contract and expand and contract and expand? Because it almost makes me feel like, okay, guys, you're getting an update. This is going to be the last thing you get for a while. We're going to just make life really good. And then we're going to get a big expansion. They're like, okay, guys, we realize we got to rein some of this back in. And then they're going to kind of drill it back down so that you have to play a lot more, right? And there's a lot of more content, but they don't want to reward you too fast. It's like all this economy management. And then,
we'll see what happens in the next update, but I think that's a fair observation up to this point.
And I don't know. I'm not trying to be pessimistic here or like think there's a grand conspiracy, but it just makes me wonder. That's all.
I still think that year two, the beginning of year two, was significantly better than the beginning of year one.
Oh yeah,
and maybe it wasn't like, I think they did scale it back after House of Wolves. Like House of Wolves was like, here, once, back then, 365 gear for everyone. Here's some etheric light. Dump it into everything you own. Like, here you go. If you have something and it's not 365, that's really bizarre. Like, here you go. Have 365 everything, and everybody was level 34 immediately.
They gave away the farm.
I think they scaled it back from that, but I do think it was way better than vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job with it. I don't feel like we weren't rewarded well. And there was a lot of places to get reward, but some of the stuff like reputation and stuff, like, it kind of annoyed me how much they scaled back reputation, especially with the factions. Where,
although theoretically they did increase it technically, because if you were doing the Nightfall buff, for instance, and you had like you would get, let's say if it was 25 reputation, you would get 37.
Yeah.
Whereas now you do get 37 without the Nightfall buff. They said they compensated for it.
Right.
But you get 25 for Vanguard or Crucible, and you get 12 for your faction.
Mm-hmm.
So you still get the same amount that you would have gotten with the Nightfall buff. So they're right about that technically. However, they spread that out between two sources, so it feels like it's a lot less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas before, you just pumped it into the one thing.
Yeah. Well, that was just a tangent. We'll keep that in the back of your mind, gents.
Just know that it might get real grindy here again once we get into the fall.
And hey, I mean, that may be okay. It's not necessarily something to complain about.
The game launched, and a month before the second expansion came out, I got the Fatebringer. So it used to be worse.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. But it was amazing when I got that drop.
Yep. So here's something I got really freaking excited about. Some year one legendary weapons are coming back, guys.
Yay!
Tell me some of the favorites off the list that you saw.
Go for it, Joe.
I want another Lord High Fixer and another Devil You Know.
Yeah.
The Devil You Know is the gun that brought me through my first Vault of Glass, my first raiding experience. I leaned on that thing so heavily, and I want another one.
Me too.
Yeah, I still have one, man. It's not great rolls, but I still have one.
I didn't keep mine.
It. Yep. I thought about it today, actually, that specific gun. I'm like, it would have been cool if it hadn't come back. It's so cool to just get it out, and they're like, or somebody inspects you, like, what does he have? That's crazy. Uh-huh. But I'm excited for Shadow Price, because I never really I still have one of those with a crappy roll, and then I never really got to experience the LDR, so I'm excited to give that a shot. So
yeah, man,
me too on the LDR. My sniper choice was already made kind of in year one. I had a really great PvE one, and I didn't play a ton of PvP. So I never got an LDR. I never got a longbow that I kept.
Oh, man.
So I'm excited to try those out for the first time.
Man, I had like 3 different LDRs that I used in PvE exclusively, and they were just awesome rolls, man. I remember one in particular. I had like Arc Burn, what is it called? Performance bonus, and I think Firefly and something else, but it was just awesome for PvE because I'd get lots of bonus ammo, and
I remember you talking about that.
It was just great. It was great. Then I had another one with some other great perks, but I never used it for PvP because I just was not great as a sniper then. But LDR is a good sniper choice. It is a good sniper choice.
Can't wait. It's important to note too that they said it wrong on the stream, right? He said you could get this from Ingrams, but you actually can only get it from leveling up to quartermasters.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, and that would be Vanguard. One that can drop up to 335 as well in the Crucible or Vanguard if you're lucky enough to get one of them. But I'm really excited to get some of those. Try some of them out.
Did they confirm on stream that? We just assumed that the vendor stock would change.
They haven't said
they're
anything.
Changing vendor stock.
Really?
Yeah, because I looked at the if you look at the Sterling Reputation post and you look in the packages that are available, so for instance, Crucible package, you are seeing you're seeing some of the original stuff here that's in the vendor, like current vendor stock, but then also some of this year one stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, well then that's the thing is the question is, are they going to change the roles? Because maybe they still sell the same weapons, but they've got a different role on it.
I think it'd be great if they would just change
I think they're
going
to stay the same.
Oh, man,
I don't think they're just going to change. I think they're going to stay the same.
Surely they'll
much to my chagrin. I would love it if they switch the roles. But
they need to be changing the roles every month. We talked about this already.
I know, they really do.
I agree.
But hey guys,
I agree.
I have to say I'm pumped about Shadow Price.
Yes.
Shadow Price. That was my baby. That's what got me through the Vaulted Glass. And it is a high impact, low rate of fire auto rifle, and that may or may not be a great choice in the future, but the fact that they're bringing it back tells me that they believe it has some value. Maybe we're going to see a little bit of an auto rifle balance again. Maybe.
See, I don't think they're going to buff auto rifles, guys. They're still the most used weapon in the Crucible.
I'm not saying they're going to buff them.
Yeah.
If you look at Guardian.gg, like they might adjust the high impact ones to make them a little bit better.
Well, if they buff them a little bit more, I can tell you they hopefully will not do anything with the Doctrine of Passing.
I think they need more balance.
I think Doctrine's getting a nerf. I think those high impact ones are going to have less stability, or the low impact ones rather. Yeah. That's my guess, but we're just guessing at this point.
Yeah, we're just guessing.
Pure speculation.
But what my hope is that they make the high impact auto rifles a little bit more feasible so that I can use this Shadow Price. Because it is my baby. I still have my original.
I have one too, man. It's just not good rolls.
Mine was pretty decent. So I'm pumped about that. I'm pumped about the Devil You Know, which I accidentally, or I don't know, it could have been purposefully, but I dismantled it at some point and I cried. I cried a lot about it. And LDR for sure. I'm pumped about seeing again. So
exciting stuff, man.
So will be
my
able
Devil
to get
You Know got
stuff.
dismantled in the summer before they announced that they were doubling our vault space.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's when I did mine too. I think I let it go a little.
Back when we had 24 slots for I think we might have gotten up to 36 at that point. I think we had 24 armor or weapon slots.
Yeah. We saw a Taken Sword, which I don't know what is unique about it besides the skin, because they brought us to Mars Patrol and it just looked like they're just hacking and slashing. I didn't see any special ability.
Looks like a normal legendary sword to me too.
Yeah. Do you think it'll have anything unique?
I mean, it's possible.
The ones that they showed had a void aura on it. Mm-hmm. Do you think that we'll get like this sword, same look but with different elements?
Only time will tell. I don't know, man.
We have nothing to say about that.
There's nothing.
I'm not really super stoked about the Taken Sword. I mean, it looks cool, but like, I don't use swords that often, and if I do, I'm using Raise Lighter.
I still don't have an exotic sword, guys. I still haven't taken the
Just
time
get Raise
to get
Lighter. You don't need the other ones.
So that's probably why I'm not saying a ton right now. I still, but probably partly because I've spent most of my time in PvP the last many months. So
yeah, and that's true for me too. That's one of the reasons why I don't use them very often.
Well, I think the exotic Void Sword is bae. So, get that one is what I would suggest. But Raise Lighter is pretty fun.
I've heard good things about Raise Lighter, yeah.
Raise Lighter just does all its damage to one target. That's why I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you're not losing anything. Boltcaster's a little wonky, and I feel like you're just wasting your mass attack with Dark Drinker if there's not a ton of enemies around you.
I don't know. If you just attack like one major in PvE, like you take out about half their health.
But Raise Lighter, man, it just nukes everything. It's great.
Next episode,
we will have a debate
exotic
about this.
swords.
We will get out
all about exotic swords.
We will go do some testing.
We did have someone ask us on Twitter about the Varix inventory.
Yes.
And they did confirm the ships and shaders are not gone forever. They can be obtained from the reward packages in the House of Judgment.
But you can't get them the same way that you can now.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just go pick them up.
Yeah.
So cool stuff, man.
You can RNG them.
Yes. That pretty much ends the stream reveal coverage. We have some other exciting things to talk about that happened outside of that stream.
Yeah, man. So completely unannounced, they just start showing your two exotics that they're going to show us on Instagram. Like, I think it was who was it of the Derp fam that tweeted about it? I'll have to look and see. But one of our Derp fam tweeted, "Hey, by the way, guys, they're showing off, the exotics that are coming on Instagram." We're like, oh, okay.
Like, what?
Okay, interesting.
So what do we got? What are we getting?
All right, well, we've got the old House of Wolves era stuff. So Queenbreaker's bow, right? We've got Lord of Wolves and what was that pistol? Greg's Promise.
Greg's. There you go, Greg's.
So first thing I have to bring up: do you think that they're gonna adjust stats or perks on any of this stuff?
I mean, you'd think maybe on something like Drake's Promise, because everybody seemed to be a little underwhelmed by that gun, but
pretty poor.
Yeah. I think just about all these need some kind of update.
Yeah. I know people did like Lord of Wolves in PvE, but
the Raspberry is the only one of these that strikes me as like was used a lot by people. I don't think the Raspberry really changes unless it gets a nerf.
For some reason, I thought we already got that item back, but that's probably because I play on my Hunter the least. Sorry.
I still have my 171 in my inventory and use it frequently in Crucible.
Well, we're getting patience and time back. I'm pumped about that.
That is cool.
That was always
I don't like that sniper rifle. I've been trying to use it in Crucible for the last couple months. I hope they change a lot on that gun because I just don't like the feel of it.
I used to hide on Sepix, man, back in the cave and snipe with that thing on Arc, right? Arc burn, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Man,
I just want my Queenbreaker's bow back because
I never got that, man. I want that now.
Love that gun.
Yep.
I love that gun. So
I know
much.
you do. I know you do.
It's
you
so
killed
good.
me in like my third round of sweats quite a bit with it.
Hey, and
may have done
Purifier
that.
robes making a comeback.
There you go,
For
Warlocks.
the Sunsingers.
Yep.
Purifier robes.
Hopefully, if you guys get a little nerf, it doesn't mess you up too much.
Don't even talk about that. Don't even talk like that. I'm going to be so salty next week. Oh my gosh. Okay.
This is going to be the stream that Cyborg finally lets it all loose.
I'm going to lose my mind. Just in advance, everyone, please forgive me.
This is the Salt cast, next week.
Yeah.
So just be prepared.
Next week is the Salt cast.
There you go.
What else we got? Anything else notable? I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Anything else you guys are excited about?
Arachnid and feedback fence.
Dude, those feedback fences those are scary.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for a Warlock.
They just look cool. I like them.
They do look cool.
They do.
They look very cool, but they're a good counter for certain play styles. I mean, that's their big strength right there. So we'll see. We'll see how those work out. But why are they bringing back Sunbreakers?
I'm gonna bet those are gonna get changed.
They probably will. What if they give you triple firebolts?
Oh my goodness, they're not going to give you firebolts. They always did. They did the solar grenades. They're buffed to solar.
Can I wish
change it? Yeah,
star?
that's
they're
after
not going to
they
give you triple firebolts. That's
firebolts
ridiculous,
in
man.
the ground.
They're exotic. They need to be powerful. They give you a free perk Viking funeral. So I can.
We also, if you can hold the salt, Cyborg. Right before we started recording tonight, or a little bit before, we got a nice little image of a new exotic sniper, didn't we?
Yeah, it's called Zen Meteor.
You did.
Zen Meteor.
It looks cool,
and it looks like it's made by old Tex Mechanica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got some cool engraving on the side of this thing. Flavor text says, complete awareness, complete focus. A mind sharpened by diligence to a single deadly point.
Whoa.
Awesome.
It looks cool.
But you know what's not awesome is that I cannot play with it. Great.
We can't talk about it, man. Just like we can't talk about the Jade Rabbit, and even being primarily on the PlayStation side of things, I'm not a fan.
Rabbit, but now they're just
not
pouring salt in the wound.
The Jade Rabbit's great. I'm just saying.
Thanks, Joe.
At least, man, they got to change from one year to 1 month. Change from 1 year to 1 month, and it's tolerable.
Do you guys have any speculation on what the perks are going to be in this thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, Ultra Firefly. Kill one enemy, all the rest die.
I think I'm expecting third eye on this.
Maybe it'll have wolf pack rounds with Thorn Dot on them.
Good grief, man. At what point did this show get full of speculation?
But it has DOT on it. Like it's basically just long range Thorn.
Oh man, that'd be so bad.
We've lost control,
That'd
guys.
be so scary.
We've lost control.
I would be happy if it was on PlayStation only if that was the case. Maybe it'll be so awesome that I don't want it. Is that possible?
It's worth hoping for.
You know what? I'm gonna hold the salt. I'm gonna find the positive. Maybe that gun is so awesome that I don't want people to play with it.
Hey, you know what? It could be worse. It could come in the Sterling Treasure boxes.
Oh man, that would be rough. Too bad. I don't think that's gonna happen.
A lot of stuff to be excited about, man.
Can we
not just a gun that's on the PlayStation side, but all these other exotics and these legendaries? This is cool stuff.
Can we talk about emotes before we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Dude, these are awesome.
There are some cool ones, man.
I subtitled for you guys. If you look, all the actual inspirations for these, and they're just so on point with how great these are. Do you have any favorites?
I like the club dance. I mean, that seems like a quick go-to. Yeah, I do like that one. You just almost have to.
That's a great one.
And the crane. The crane's great from Karate Kid, yeah.
Finally came with the Praise the Sun for you Dark Souls fans and you Sunsinger Warlocks. What about you, Joe? See any you like?
I'm getting the Just Do It.
Yeah,
Shia LaBeouf one. That's going to be the first one I buy.
That's a good one. One of these I have listed. They didn't show, but it's called Rude Taunt. And if you've ever seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, it's the taunt that the Frenchman does on the castle where he's like makes the raspberry and then he's hitting his head. That one's pretty funny.
Yeah, that one's on my short list of buying for that one too. That one looks really fun.
I think my favorite is going to be, though, is they have one that's the Dougie. Which, if you know what the Dougie is, great. If not, just go Google it. Because I can do the Dougie, so I was excited. So these are all great, and I will spend money. Bungie, I will give you so much silver for all these emotes. You're going to love it. All right, guys. Well, that was fun. We've got a lot of fun stuff to look forward to, a lot of good rewards, and I'm looking forward to next week hearing about the old sandbox updates. But for now, how about some DerpFam feels?
Ooh,
hashtag,
I like the feels.
Hashtag DerpFam feels.
All about them feels.
All right, let's do it. So we have a return to form. We've got some speak pipes, guys.
Yes.
And we have a speak pipe from our good old friends Heaven's Oblivion and Aesthetic X have teamed up together to give us a speak pipe. So let's take a listen to that.
Hey guys, this is Heaven's Oblivion, and I am joined with...
your boy Aesthetic X.
And we were challenged on Twitter by Cyborg to leave a speak pipe for Destiny Reset. So we thought we'd keep it kind of short and just kind of tell a little bit of our feels. So Aesthetic, go ahead and lead us off.
About a year ago, I saw this little podcast named Destiny Reset on Twitter showing off their episode 1, and I got really, really into it. And thanks to it, I'm in this awesome Derp Fam community, and I got to meet this awesome guy named Heaven's Oblivion. I don't know if you guys know about him.
Well, Aesthetic and I, we left a speak pipe on the same episode, and we were like, who is this guy? I have to meet him. So Aesthetic and I, we got in contact, and ever since then, like, I swear we've been playing almost every day since. So we just want to say thanks, Cyborg. Thanks, Arrow, for creating this awesome podcast.
You guys rock.
And we also wanted to kind of start a new little challenge. We call it the Speak Pipe Challenge for Destiny Reset, where we wanted to challenge someone to leave their own speak pipe and to continue to challenge others. So, Aesthetic, who would be a good choice to challenge this week?
It's kind of tough. There's so many people holding court.
Holding court. So, Holden, we're holding it to you to leave a speak pipe. And just, one more time, thanks Cyborg and Arrow for this awesome podcast.
Kisses.
Kisses. Mwah.
Okay, well, that was pretty awesome.
Good to hear from them again.
Yes, Aesthetic used to be a weekly speak pipe.
I know.
Yep.
I know. Good return there. I just want to say real quick, Heaven's Oblivion and Aesthetic X, thank you for being such a big part of the Derp fam and supporting us from episode 1. Thank you very much for me and Arrow.
Definitely.
Yeah, I remember meeting Heavens really early on, joining Derp Fam, and it was a really good experience always playing with him. And like, those are guys that I hear their names, I'm like, oh, I haven't played with them in forever, but like, they're guys that were at the beginning of that experience, and they're just awesome guys. You should totally get to know them.
Absolutely.
I love the challenge for Holden Court. And the continued challenge. It may turn into speak pipes aren't questions from you guys anymore. They're shout outs. In addition to the emails. Love it.
But Holden Court, you have been called out, Guardian.
Ooh. Nice.
Barracks.
We also in classic form got a few emails this week.
Yeah.
We got an email from Matthew, aka Exterminator 333. Basically, we kind of wanted to just give him a shout out because he was looking to join the Derp fam. We told him how to do that and the Discord, but he also said that he would love to join the Derp fam, and he wanted to see if anyone is willing to Sherpa him through trials and help him learn to improve his game and get to the lighthouse for the first time. He also said he would help Sherpa people through PvE content, that he loves doing that. And he plays on PS4. PSN ID is Exterminator 333. He mains a Titan, but way back in the day, he started playing Destiny on Xbox One. He was 100% Warlock. That one is for you, Cyborg, with a smiley face. Whoop.
And that gamer tag is like capital X.
Yes.
Terminator 333. Yeah, so if you're looking him up, don't look with the E. Don't spell it correctly.
Yeah. Capital X.
It's uncool to spell it correctly.
Never spell a gamer tag correctly. Let's be honest.
No.
That's bad form.
With a zero. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Next one, we got a message from David, a.k.a. Hoppy Kez. He's got a shout out on hitting the lighthouse. He says, I made my first trip to the lighthouse while I was dragged there, and RNG finally was good to me. The Doctrine of Passion. With counterbalance at 320, the only weapon I wanted from Trials.
Dude,
got it at
crazy.
320 counterbalance. First time to the lighthouse.
Saw a picture
crazy.
Of that. He posted it up. I was like, wow. I was excited.
That's nice.
Yep.
That
Congrats.
Really nice.
Congrats.
Very cool.
Happy Kez. Very cool.
Our last email is from Joshua Freitas. I'm sure I said that wrong. As a person who always has my last name incorrectly said, so I apologize. Who is Deadly Teddy. And he sent an email just giving a shout out. He said, "Hey, Arrow and Cyborg, just wanted to give a quick shout out to the 5 guys that introduced me to the Vault of Glass this past Friday night. Danny the Kirk, Whaleful Tester, who was actually me."
Yes. Okay. I was making sure you were going to say that.
Yeah, I was part of that group too. It was really fun.
I actually, I mentioned Whaleful Tester a few episodes back, completely forgetting that I've played with Whaleful Tester before. And then somebody reminded us in Discord that was you.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
That's my alt account where I'm doing all these experiments. So Danny, myself, Stardust, the Matu, and Mike M22. And Deadly says this in his email: "This was my first time through this raid. I was really stoked. We had a great time slaying some Vex together. And although I was an idiot and fell off the map right before we started DPS on Atheon, my ghost and I had a front row seat to watch the fire team take him down, which took maybe 5 seconds. We killed him in one cycle with sleepers.
Nice.
We just all pulled out sleepers and just melted the crap out of him."
That's awesome.
So he said, "It wasn't one of my proudest moments, but it was really funny, and it was funny as hell, and we had a great laugh to end the raid. My spoils of war were a universal remote, Praet's Revenge,
Nice.
the Chatterwhite shader, which is probably my new favorite. Thanks again, guys. Maybe we can do Crota next. Josh, aka Deadly Teddy."
Deadly Teddy.
I know I had a bunch of fun with that raid too. We had a great group of guys. It was
He sent us
super fun.
a couple screenshots too, and even though he was dead, I gotta say you got some great angles on
nice
on the shots to Avion.
Can I say it's so awesome that Chatterwhite is his new favorite shader?
That is cool. That's great.
That thing
That's
used
still
to
one of my
drop
faves,
like crazy. I can't tell you how many Chatterwhites I've had, but it's just awesome that somebody can appreciate it now.
Yeah, it's great when you go through Vault with or Crota with somebody who's new and they get one of those pieces of gear that you've gotten so many times, and they're like, "This is awesome," and you're like, "Yeah, it is awesome."
Yeah.
Like, I remember what it was like to get it the first time. It was so cool. Like, I wore that thing around for days. Like,
yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, I remember it took me a while to get my first Vault clear to get Chatterwhite. And I was jealous for a long time when I would see people in the tower and be like, "Man, I don't need that. I don't need Chatterwhite." But inside I was like, "I want Chatterwhite too,"
Yeah, I didn't clear the Vault for the first time until the very end of November. Like, first week of December, potentially. So it took me a long time to get a group together. So yeah, I remember seeing the people walk through the tower too and being like, maybe someday I'll be like them.
I still like Chatterwhite with the new Iron Banner gear, man. It looks really cool to be solid white with those Titan gear.
I'm going to go get my Chatterwhite out.
Thanks, Josh. Deadly Teddy. We're all getting Chatterwhite back out.
Yep.
Oh, it actually looks really nice with Garrison too. That's one of the few shaders that you can actually pull it off. So, very good.
We have another speak pipe. This is a great episode for Speak Pipes from our friend...
The Feels.
Yep. From our friend BitDead. So let's check that out.
Hey guys, it's BitDead here. Just wanted to send you a quick message to say I love you. I'm only joking. Or am I? Anyway, on to the serious stuff. I just wanted to send you a quick message, mainly just to say thank you. A while back, when my original clan had gone a little bit quiet, I was listening to this podcast that I quite enjoyed, and I decided to join the clan, not really knowing what to expect, what I would find at the other end. And I found a fantastic place full of fantastic people who I genuinely think, if I lived in the same country, which would be helpful, I would generally think I could be quite good friends with. And all this is all done thanks to you two. What you've done, what you've created is massive, and it's fantastic. And if I could, from the other side of the pond, I'd give you a great big man hug. But I can't, so all I can do is say thank you. Thank you for what you've created. I genuinely am honoured to be part of it. Please keep up the good work. BitDead out.
Well, thank you, Mr. BitDead. It was great to hear from you. You are an awesome part of the community, and thank you for appreciating what we try to do here, and stick around. there's more to come.
Thanks so much. We were we were messaging back and forth, and he seemed to think that he didn't. It seemed like he didn't get to play a lot. He wished he could jump in with the Derp Fam more, but he does enough just chatting with everybody.
Yeah, that's just as important, man. I mean, the fam is not just about playing together, but just being part of a community, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, and so many of you set the standard for what it's like, to talk. And, we've kind of joked before that, we've had almost no one come into this community that has not been all about community and respect and kindness and fun. Like, people do that all the time. Like, we have tons of fun. We joke about all kinds of stuff. It's just great to be around Derp Fam. And the positive atmosphere that you create, whether you're playing a lot or a little, just jumping in and being a part of that conversation makes just a huge difference. And people can tell when they come in, this is a different kind of community than you usually see in a lot of gaming, spheres. So thanks, guys.
Well said, Joe.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we had you on for just to say that, man. That was very nice.
All right, guys. Well, this has been a fun show. Thank you, Joe, for coming back and joining us. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, buddy?
Well, I'm usually found playing Destiny. I like to do that. So you can find me at Joe Meaden on PlayStation. Feel free to add me, Joe Mieden. And on Xbox, I am currently playing on Joe the Meaden and also Whaleful Tester 98. So if you look me up on either of those places, you can very readily find me. You can message me in the Bungie.net group or in the Discord, and I try to be pretty prompt about reading those and jumping back in. If you ever had a problem with the app or whatever, let me know. We want to make sure that we solve any problems that are there. I got a couple messages when Discord went down a couple weeks ago, and if you communicate, that helps us as a mod team to be able to make sure that everybody's got a smooth experience and that we're all being able to communicate well with each other. So keep sending that stuff my way. Those are the best ways to get a hold of me.
Excellent.
Yeah. And did you mention your Twitter?
Oh yeah, I got a Twitter too, I guess. I don't tweet very often, but you can always reach out to me with that. It is J.R. Meaden.
That's it.
Same spelling.
Yep. If you don't know, Joe is one of our powerful and just community managers, and he's been there since the very start.
Our first, right?
Yep, he was the first.
Our first addition to the team.
Absolutely. So he'll take good care of you if you need anything. Aeronite, why don't you tell the folks out there at home where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter at the Aeronite. YouTube and Twitch is Aeronite.
Yeah.
If you want to add me on either console, just shoot me a message anywhere and I will. It's Aeronite with a 0 on Xbox, but I will just type it for you on PlayStation because I can't change my name and somebody had it already.
Yep.
What about you, Cyborg?
Crazy Japanese with their crazy PS IDs. I don't know what they're doing. You can find me at Cyborg Sasquatch on Twitter. That's it. That's all.
And on Xbox.
Yeah, I'm on
we
Xbox,
don't throw out our gamer
tag
tags very often.
I guess that goes without saying. I take that for granted. My gamer tag is the same as my name on this show. And my Twitter, it's always at Cyborg Sasquatch.
So easy to find.
Very easy. As always, you can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter and at DestinyResetPodcast.com on the World Wide Webs. You can go there and find links to all things Destiny Reset, including, but not limited to, our Bungie.net group, our YouTube, subscribe links if you want to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you find your podcasts. And then would love to mention if you want to leave a speak pipe yourself, please do so. We love those. We love to hear what you have to say in your voice. As much as I love adding dramatic emphasis to your emails, I'm sure you can do a better job.
There is a link on the website.
Yes.
Yeah. So always thank you for the iTunes reviews. We did get a new one this week.
Oh, snaps.
Love it. It was from our friends. You guys know him, CHB Legendary.
Oh, thanks, man.
Thank you very much for leaving us that review. We appreciate it. And if you guys want to do so, it basically just gets the show out there and gets more people in the Derp fam so that we can show them how awesome a community can be. So thank you guys for that, everybody that's left a review. Great stuff. Great show, guys. A lot of fun.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again. It's always fun to hang with you guys. We were joking before about how afterwards we're probably just going to go play Iron Banner together and keep talking. So
It's true. Right? It doesn't stop here, but we have to stop recording at some point.
Yeah, I think we. I really think we covered everything. I maybe I shouldn't say everything, but it sure felt like it.
Yep,
it sure felt like it. So
we're gonna get tweets tomorrow or whenever the day after we post this, and they're gonna be like, "You guys missed this thing. And really important."
We try, guys, but we're trying not to go longer than 2 hours for your sake,
and we are
sanity.
Speaking of that, until next week, have fun playing Destiny. And take care, Guardians.
We are friends now.
Nice. Is that the first time you've done Bear?
Yeah, I think it is.
That's great.
Looking forward to hearing more from him soon.